Welcome to Vision and Impact, the podcast where we sit down with founders and industry icons redefining the future of health and wellness. I'm your host, Sharissa Olivas, founder of White Wolf Marketing. And today we're diving into the evolution of IV therapy and really what it takes to build a standout brand in kind of a saturated wellness market. Our guest is Chaz Faulhaber. He's the chief marketing officer and co-founder of a fast-growing IV therapy brand out in Denver. He has a very sharp eye for consumer behavior and a strong point of view on how healthcare is shifting. And if you ever wondered how to build trust, drive loyalty, and stay ahead of the curve in health tech, this one's for you. So let's get into it. Hi, Chaz.
That sounded great. How are you? Of
Doing good. Thanks for hopping on. I
course.
want to know kind of what just drew you into the health space and what was like that aha moment for launching this business?
Well, I'd never heard about, IV therapy in general because I come from a marketing background. But when I did get a chance to finally try it after a mountain bike race, it was purely a physiological experience where I had never felt so rejuvenated from racing a mountain bike in the desert before. So for me, it was a physical experience that made me want to get more involved.
So you tried it and loved it.
Absolutely. I felt the difference immediately.
Awesome. And as a marketer, what challenge or gap did you see in IV therapy that made you really want to get involved?
It's the same challenge I see today with even a lot of our competitors. It's a service. You can get it at a lot of places now. When we first tried it, it was also a service that you could get at a few places. The difference now is that you haven't seen as many of our competitors really figure out the brand side yet. So that's where I got interested. It was a chance to put a brand in a space that really didn't have one yet.
Awesome. And how has that kind of shifted over the past few years? Like how have consumer expectations around IV therapy changed and evolved from being like one, first of its kind to now being in a very saturated market?
Well, you see it all the time where people want to talk about cost and they want to go for the cheapest, available option. But in this regard, that's where branding really starts to come in and you have to build that value for a reason they should come back to you. In a lot of ways, an IV therapy clinic is a lot like a gas station. No one knows if you went to one versus another. So it's up to you to make the emotional connection while they're in the store.
And if in your own words, what is IV therapy?
Ooh, great question. IV therapy to me, it's a proactive agent of wellness. It's exactly what you use before something is wrong versus the way a lot of people see it. It's a reactive tool for being hungover. I would rather always use it to get ahead of a problem than to come back from one.
Yeah. So preventative care.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's a very common hangover cure.
Mm-hmm.
That's where most people hear about it. A lot of athletes kind of started the trend. And now I've been seeing a lot with travelers. So the first time I did it was actually in Colombia. A lot of people get food poisoning traveling. And so as a traveler, this helped a lot when we were really sick. So I'm sure you've seen a lot of that coming about. And then also just immunity support and energy and performance boosts.
Yeah, all those reasons alone are great moments for someone to really see the benefit. I think it really is going to be something where people, as they build their toolbox of wellness as they get older, and they start using different things to keep themselves feeling and being optimized at their best, that's when you'll really see the utility start to kick in for people. And this industry is still so young. It hasn't even got to where it's going to be yet. So
that's good to hear. And what do you feel like makes your guys' brand stand out in a space that is becoming more saturated? What do you guys do that's different?
Our name is one of the main differentiators. And in our store, we have the definition, but onus means personal responsibility. The onus is on you to take care of yourself. And so in that regard, we're not going to name our brand after the service because we're not going to be able to really pivot where we need to add more tools that help you proactively take care of yourself. So that'd be our main differentiator, is that our name is proactive in nature and it enables us to add proactive ways of, keeping yourself healthy as the brand changes and evolves.
Awesome. And what do you think about building a brand versus just offering a service? Because everybody has the same service, everybody's serving IV therapies. How do you stand out as a brand? Like, what do you think about building a brand that is different than just offering that pure service?
That's a great question. Honestly, it comes down to the occasion you want to own, and the kind of mindset you want to own. I think, and we kind of play in both of those worlds. There is an occasion to get an IV, as you mentioned. Travelers will get them to stay ahead of a problem. That's an occasion. And then there's the attitude, kind of like Nike, which is just do it. Our hashtag is what's inside counts. We have another one that's live better longer. These are these little emotional moments we try and connect with somebody on something bigger. We started using live better longer in the last year because the way our services are headed, the way our offerings are geared, and the way you're going to interact with the brand, it's designed so that right up until your last day, you feel the same as when you were 25, 35 years old, no matter what your age. So that's our goal, and that's the impact we hope to make.
I love that. And I remember us talking about Qdoba, and
Yeah.
Qdoba is a service, and we were saying Chipotle is a brand,
Hmm.
which is really interesting because a service delivers more of a function, like come here, get a drip, it works, it's fast, you're done.
Yeah.
But a brand creates that real emotional connection. It's more of a lifestyle, like this is who I am and I trust this experience. And that competes more on values and consistency and identity and a real story. And that's what builds customer loyalty, not just transactions.
But yeah. And also, it helps us really find which employees are going to be the ones who stick around the longest. We've had some employees who've been around since employee number 3 and 15. They tend to embody some of those values, and that really communicates through to the customer during the experience. So, yeah, it's good to have a
Yeah.
brand that has values for all aspects of your marketing and how you operate.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's great that you have that edge, that competitive edge, because it is more than just a service. You guys are providing a real brand.
I mean, that's the goal.
What services are you guys most excited to expand into and why? Like, where are you guys headed?
I'm really excited about peptides, if I'm being honest. Hormone therapy to me is really exciting because I couldn't work in this brand without hormone therapy. It's something I didn't even know I needed until I realized it's something that I was missing. Um, it's the difference between waking up fatigued and confused and not knowing who you are, and going right back to how I felt when I was 27. And I was like confident and things felt like they were working as they should. But peptides are a completely new market, and it's so new that I don't even know where it's going to be in the next 2 years, but I do know that I'm glad we're going to be a part of it because I think it's going to change a lot of things. I think people are going to see incredible results, and we're going to be one of those places that they love to come get it. So it'll be cool.
Yeah. So do you think that peptides are the next wave in wellness?
I think hormones will come first, but peptides are like, if you're building a house, peptides might be, what insulates the house after you've built the foundation and done the framing. I think it's just going to be something that helps improve your muscle tone, helps with your immune system, but your hormones are going to be the thing that helps everything have a stable foundation. So yeah, it's really cool to see. It'll be a great auxiliary product.
And for our listeners that don't necessarily know, could you tell us what peptides and hormone therapy are?
So, to the best of my ability, because I'm not the medical director, but I do know that peptides are some amount of a chain of an amino acid, and there are apparently thousands of them, and each one of them can have different profound effects. Like BPC 157 is supposed to have incredible results for how your muscles heal. A common peptide are the GLP-1s, I believe, like your Wegovy's and semaglutides and tirzepatides. Those are what we say when we're talking about peptides. When we're talking about hormones, again, as the marketing person, from what I can take what they tell me and then put it into marketing terms, we are primarily pushing bioidentical hormone replacement therapy, which is basically, as our nurse practitioner Kelly Cordy says, it's the gold standard in hormone replacement. It's the one that opens up the express lanes so that there isn't a traffic jam, if you will, so that everything can get where it needs to go and you're not experiencing those effects like fatigue or depression, variety of things that most people don't know stem from a hormone imbalance. So the other ones that we'll be offering will be TRT, HRT, and hormone creams. But again, we want people to get towards the BHRT path if they can, because it's the one that is going to help them likely the most.
Interesting. So how do you combine that with IV therapy? Are you seeing more people coming in for IV therapy first, and once they see it and see the results, they're asking, what else can I do? And that's when the peptides and hormone therapy come in?
They work together very much like a Triforce or something, if you will. Usually people will come to know us because IV therapy is common. And so they come in, they experience the treatment, and they're like, wow, if they can help me with this thing, and they're talking about these other services, well, if they already have our trust, then they're curious, they're confident that we're going to help them make another great choice. IV therapy and BHRT in particular are a great pairing, because in order to know what to give you as far as your levels for BHRT, we need to take a blood panel. And in that regard, we can see where you're deficient. And that means not only can we help you with your hormone imbalance, but now we can help you understand what's missing on the IV side as well. If there's a nutrient deficiency, we can directly address it. So that's pretty cool. The fact that one test, you're going to know many things that you didn't know about yourself. And there's going to be at least two things you can do with our company to help yourself feel better.
Wow. So IV therapy is, I feel like, is kind of the entry point, but the real magic happens when it all starts to work together and become part of a complete wellness protocol. You're
Absolutely.
talking about customized plans that address, energy and mood and sleep and recovery and
Mhm.
hormone balance and long-term performance. So it's not just about hydration or a quick fix. It's more about your overall wellness protocol. Am I right?
Yeah, it's we're going to call them longevity packs, and you're going to be able to pick out, how do you want to feel? What's your goal? Like, do you want to be more athletic like you were? Or do you want to focus on just your immune system, or you just want to be like a general wellness go-getter? It's going to be up to you what direction you take.
Awesome. And what did people mostly come in like their first time in the space, the first time customer? Like I'm sure some people are a little bit skeptical.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like what's one way you've kind of built trust with them with all of this? Because it is kind of foreign. It is something that is just kind of popped up in the past 5 to 10 years.
That's I think the best thing that we can do is be visible, having our stores in places where people see it is critical because it prompts the conversation to happen in the first place. There's that curiosity. I think one thing that a lot of companies do is they open up in an office park with no visible signage, and then you have no clue who these people are unless you got served an internet ad, and then maybe you'll go check it out. I think a lot of people come to trust us though when they come in and they see the space. It's not typical like a doctor's office. Here's our wall. It's painted gray, and here's our wallpaper. One of our wallpapers. It's a forest. It's all designed to help you calm down and see that this is not going to make you, tense. We're here to help you make a good choice. And so I think that's where it gets off on the right foot is the space is naturally inviting, and the people who work there, I mean, they're all ER nurses. And so in that regard, they know how to talk to people right from the get-go, just as they would in an ER.
Yeah. And I feel like one of the biggest shifts we've been seeing in wellness is kind of seeing that shift of it being more approachable and more inviting, especially because it's not in a sterile white room hidden in the back of a doctor's office. I feel like
Hmm.
IV therapy is now happening in more like bright and welcoming spaces, like retail style storefronts, as you were saying, and even
Definitely.
mobile vans. Like we've been seeing it everywhere and inside gyms and co working spaces.
Yep.
I feel like lately it's been designed to be more seen and not hidden. Like it's not as taboo as it used to be, and it's not clinical. Like it's now more part of a modern lifestyle.
Definitely. Yeah, when we started with a Sprinter van that was built into a lounge. So it looked as much as like a retail space as it does now as we could back then. So yeah, it is more in the mainstream. And yeah, when we first started, at the beginning of 2015, it's like people were looking at us like we had a third eyeball, They're like, what do you want to do? You want me to go where? What are we gonna okay, sure, maybe. But now it's very much like, I know I can do this. How much is this going to cost? So, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like when people see others walking in and getting treated like their
Mhm.
friends or their coworkers, it kind of lowers that barrier and that fear, and it makes that first appointment way less intimidating, knowing that you have a friend or somebody else that has done it.
Yeah. I mean, just yesterday, a husband walked into one of our clinics and he said, my wife told me to come here so I don't get her sick. And so, yeah, there's that inherent trust because now it's not like I have this gap to cross. It's like literally, this is part of our toolkit. Go get it done?
Yeah, and that's what's so great because it used to be pretty niche and it was like reserved for more like athletes, doctors' offices, like ultra wealthy people. And now it's fully mainstream. So people aren't
Yeah.
necessarily asking, like, what is it? They're asking, like, really, where is the closest one? And
Yeah,
how fast can
exactly.
I get to it? Because I've been seeing it pop up more in like airports and hotels, and it's no longer just about like recovery. It's like daily self care. It's like getting a smoothie or hitting the sauna. And so it definitely has had that transformation.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see, especially from half of our marketing being just about awareness and learning about like how to trust us. A lot of our marketing used to be, we only hire ER nurses. And for a long time that was like, whoa, okay, cool. well, they're doing something right. But yeah, like you said, now it's just becoming more common. People don't expect it to be as like, Wild West. Now it is pretty established. So it's been really cool to see as one of the first here in Colorado.
Yeah, that's awesome. Could you share a story or some kind of standout story where your services maybe changed someone's life? Maybe it's yours, maybe it's a patient, something that you feel like has been pretty amazing to hear like the transformation of.
Well, I would love to have more stories about BHRT and peptides other than my own. And I can speak to that, on a personal level. But I think one of the first moments when this really started to click as to what we were doing, there was this grandmother who always couldn't make it to Thanksgiving dinner because she would have like a fainting spell. I guess the energy of having lots of family around, she would just pass out. And so she was used to family coming over to her house, getting ready for Thanksgiving, and then she passes out from the excitement. And they said that she was getting dehydrated or something. And so she started coming in before Thanksgiving dinners and getting an IV, just saline, nothing, no vitamins or anything in it. And for a long time, that really helped her be able to stay awake and get through the excitement of Thanksgiving. She didn't pass out anymore. And I think that was one of the coolest things. It was like someone who was clearly older taking a proactive edge on their health, and it physically helped them be present for their family. It was really cool to see that.
Wow. Yeah. And so that's more than just biohacking. It's more restoring like the real quality of life in like
Hmm.
a real tangible way. And
It's time with your family. You got it back.
yeah. Yeah, wow. I mean, that's the right support at the right time. I mean,
Hmm.
it's incredible to see how it could really change somebody's overall well-being like that.
She said, "Thank you for starting this company." I literally couldn't be at that
Wow.
Thanksgiving dinner without my family. So it
Wow.
was cool. That was a really good moment.
Oh, that's great. And so if somebody's listening to this and they want to build a wellness brand, what is like one thing that you could recommend and one branding mistake to avoid?
Well, try to avoid naming yourself the category. There's a lot of companies that already do that. So one of the easiest ways you can stand out is to not sound like someone else's name. Sometimes using your own name can be one of the most powerful names out there. If I say McDonald's over Burger King, you're going to probably remember McDonald because there's a human element to it as well. It's not the service. It's a little bit more. So try and answer the why as to why you're doing it. If you're going to use your name, like, I don't know, if you're the founder and you really enjoy making people feel good, then your name will become synonymous with that feeling. I don't know. That's a great question. It took me a long time to come up with the name Onus. So in that regard, it's, yeah, don't pick someone else's name and don't sound like anyone else's name, and then try and make it resonate with a reason that you're in it.
Yeah, and I feel like people connect with identity.
That's a great way to say it.
And if something is bold and distinctive, it's a little bit more personal and it sticks and it signals that there's a story or a point of view or a real human behind it. It's not just a brand.
Absolutely. Is that cookie company Sally Field or something? It's like, well, she must make good cookies if her name is the cookie. So
Yeah. Yeah. And I feel like in today's market, there's so many brands out there and we see so many ads. And so your brand is really the moat. It's what turns that first time visit into more of a like long time loyalty. And you only have
sure.
one chance at a first impression. So the name is the first place.
It's where it starts. But one thing that I think a lot of people don't realize when they get into business is how much of marketing is going to help save what you've built. Marketing is truly an investment, and you need to hit people at least 6 or 7 times with a message before they'll decide to take action. If you come up with a great brand name, I wouldn't expect your brand name to do all the heavy lifting. Don't forget, people still want to talk to people. In-person events are huge. Good content, testimonials, and in general, just being part of your community. You've only got to talk to them 6 or 7 times. So you got to get after it once you get your doors open.
Yeah. And I always like to say to my clients, like operations keep the engine running, but
Hmm.
marketing puts the gas in and really tells people why your car is worth driving. Because
Absolutely.
without your branding, you're invisible. And with it, you can scale, but it's really not unique. And it's not something that's going to scale at a fast pace in a very crowded and fast moving market like wellness.
Right. Yeah.
So brand and marketing are your insurance policy, kind of against irrelevance.
Yeah. I'd love, I can't say it any better. That's a great way to talk about it.
Awesome. Well, what can listeners learn? Where can listeners learn more about you and your company and find out more about your journey as a brand?
Well, we try and keep our YouTube active. So, obviously, if you want to see some more content about what we're up to, check out our YouTube channel, Onus IV. Otherwise, our website, onusiv.com, is where you'll find the hub of everything that we're getting into. And yeah, there's a lot that's coming within this year. So there's going to be a lot to talk about. Follow us on social media. And if you're in the Denver area, please stop by. Come check us out. We love skeptics. We want to show you what we're up to.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Chaz. That is a wrap on today's episode of Vision and Impact. Thanks for pulling back the curtain on the business of wellness
Of course.
and the power of brand identity and really what it means to be customer first in really this changing health landscape. It has been very intriguing to kind of hear a little bit more about your brand and where you guys started. If you found value in today's conversation, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and follow us on Instagram. You can also find clips and resources and future episodes on our website. But until next time, keep building, keep innovating, and stay committed to making an impact.